Welcome, everyone, to episode 2 of From A to Global Z. I'm your host, Bill Lord, and today we'll take a look at my life experiences and how they contributed to the beginnings of the Global Z recording project. I grew up in Woodstock, New York, which is in the Catskill Mountains, and Woodstock is the namesake to the most famous 3-day music festival in rock history. It was billed as 3 days of peace and music, and they were actually expecting something like 50,000 people and 400,000 showed up, so pretty amazing. My dad was a swing band drummer and my aunt was a talented rock jazz vocalist. And probably not as a surprise, I got my first pair of drumsticks at the age of 5, and my aunt, who was in the Peace Corps, was based in Ecuador, and she came home one day and gave me a guitar made in Ecuador at the age of 12. My dad worked for IBM's Global Products division, and as a result, when I was in my early teens, we were able to live in England for a couple of years. And while we were there, we took a few vacations in Europe. And I remember even as a young teen, I was really intrigued with how there were so many different cultures there, and got to experience those while we were in Europe, and I really found it fascinating. And after graduating high school, I served 3 years in the Army as a paratrooper medic, and then left the military to pursue a bachelor's degree in photography. And once I finished my degree in photography, I went on to open a photography studio for which I ran for about 15 years. Now, all through this time, I was playing music in coffee houses, and then while I had my private business going, my studio, I played in several bands, rock bands. So all through this time, I was writing music, playing music, and really enjoying my music playing performance experiences. All the time I was working in my studio, though, I kept having this nagging feeling that I wanted to be doing something in education. And so I would teach photography in community colleges and through outreach photography programs. And then eventually I found an opportunity to work as a photographer for a university, and I jumped on the chance. And this was a really important time in my life as I met my future wife, who is from Russia at this university. And I also began taking master's degree classes, and the program I was in was totally online. And this kind of set me up for a very transformational moment in my life. This was early on when online programs were brand new, and this particular program was really cool because it was designed to be taught by professors from around the world. So it was amazing. I got to learn along with people from highly diverse backgrounds and from different religious and cultural perspectives. And there were some really strong friendships built through these international learning experiences. And I found that really fascinating that this could be achieved through online educational technologies. And really, I was so impressed by what I was experiencing. I was truly inspired. I wanted to continue my studies, and that's when I decided to enroll in a doctoral program in education. My doctoral studies allowed me to research groups of diverse online learners, and I got to see how they reacted to using a variety of computer-based communication tools. I witnessed strong bonds of friendships being created between highly diverse strangers online, and I was really intrigued. So by profession, I'm a distance learning professional. I'm considered a specialist in the fields of distance learning, educational computer-based technologies, and fostering virtual international partnerships. So at this point, I imagine you can kind of see the parallels between my life, my work, my studies, and Global Z. I have personally experienced how barriers between people of difference can be dissolved and cross-cultural friendships can be created. And I've also seen how music can bring musicians from highly diverse backgrounds together. From what I've seen and read and on the research that's available, music is definitely a universal barrier basher. So eventually I combined all my passions together and began to map out Global Z. In summary, music unites people who typically would not be brought together by any other means. If you bring together people from around the world to work on a project that they all have an interest in, such as music, teaching and learning about each other's cultural differences can occur, and global friendships can form through the use of virtual technologies. Essentially, this is what Global Z is about. We like to say we give peace a chance through music, and that's what we're trying to do. So I hope this sheds some light on what served as the inspirations behind the Global Z recording project. It's a highly personal project, but one I believe has universal traction on many levels. And ultimately, we seek to create global friendships and spread the seeds of peace through music at the grassroots level. And one seed at a time, that desire for peace-mindedness will spread like a vine. So that's about it for episode 2. Now, Global Z has been around for about 5.5 years, and episode 3 will take a walk down memory lane and explore the first 3 years of the organization. We're going to review both our successes and some challenges that we faced. So I hope you've enjoyed episode 2, and you will come back next week. Join us for another episode of From A to Global Z. Until then, wishing you peace through music, I'm Bill Lord.